Coaches Connection, connecting you and the greater DMV to local sports programs, as well as the coaches that inspire our local youth.
Welcome to another edition of Coach Connection. I'm Farrar Tate, and today on Coach Connection, I'm introducing you to a young lady that is helping young girls and men reach higher heights in the amazing sports of volleyball. So without further ado, I want to introduce, can you please tell us about who you are? Tell us your name and all.
Well, my name is Janee Hayes. I'm a Washington, D.C. native. I started a club volleyball team quite a few years ago, and it's geared toward, introducing Washington, D.C. natives to the sport of volleyball, because as we well know, pretty much in this area, basketball, track, and football dominate. So a lot of young ladies, they don't play football. Some of them do track, and a lot don't want to play basketball. So this was another opportunity for them to explore their athletic prowess and possibly gain college scholarships.
Wonderful. Now, did you play volleyball when you were in school?
I did a little something. I did. I played at my high school, then I played in college, and then I played basketball in college as well. So then after college, I went and played professional basketball internationally.
Fantastic. So you've had some coaching in your life, right? Yeah. So a lot of times, I love that. A lot of times, parents who've never been coached never really understands the impact that coaches have made on the success of lots of people. Could you dive into that for us? Can you give us a coach that had impacted you, and then something that coach did or said that still resonates with you today?
Well, oddly enough, I had a good coach in high school, Sheila Weaver. She was a coach of the year, Washington Post All-Met Coach of the Year. But actually, my best coach was my ballet teacher. She's the one from a very young age instilled discipline, instilled work ethic, instilled perseverance, instilled pride, all of these intangible characteristics that you need to be successful, not only in sports, but in life. And so that was instilled in me at a really young age, and she didn't accept mediocrity. Everyone's going to be at a different level, and that's fine, but you achieve to the best of your ability at your level. And I think that resonated with me so much, because I was in ballet school with prima ballerinas. Well, I'm 6 feet, 200 pounds. No, I necessarily wasn't going to be a prima ballerina, but I could be the best version of myself that I could be. And I think that has literally traveled with me up until this age to date.
Got it. And what dance school was that?
It was the Jones Haywood School of Ballet on Georgia and Delafield Northwest, and Ms. Doris Jones was the head of it at that point. And Tammy and Sandra Fortune Green, they were all, Sandra runs it now, but, it was just a legacy of excellence and nothing less.
Legacy of excellence. I love it. Legacy of excellence. See, at Coach Connection, we want to highlight that legacy of excellence. A lot of times our parents think, well, I'm already teaching my daughter or son how to be excellent, but there's something that a coach does that you have to come through that interaction. So can you tell us, how are you reaching your students now as a coach?
So my students would probably say, I'm a little tough, but I'm fair. Because with each of my poor coaching experiences, meaning coaches I really didn't care much for, I pulled from them the things that I did not like, so that I would not repeat those same tendencies, if you will. And so some coaches are unfair. Some coaches will yell at some and not yell at others, or build some up and not build up others, or see greatness in some and not see greatness. I've seen a multitude of disparity in coachings, which bothered me. Even when I was the coach's favorite, if you will, I still didn't appreciate seeing how my teammates were treated, because inevitably it takes all of us to win. They're the ones who prepare us for big games. They're the ones who, build us up even when we're having a rough day. So to see them treated less than or spoken to less than, I didn't find favorable, even when I was the dominant players. So as a coach, I try to be, I'm hard nosed. I am a stickler for discipline. I am a stickler for excellence. I don't accept excuses. And it's a little rough for today's generation. And it's a little rough for the parents to accept initially. But when I tell you my buy-in has probably been 92%, which is high when I talk to other coaches. I'm appreciative of that. I mean, because I think at the end of the day, once they get over, me being curt and me being tough, if you will, they understand that I truly care about your success, because whatever tangible or intangible skill sets you build under me, they'll help you further along in life. Everybody that I coach is not going to be a D1 or professional athlete, but they're going to be your doctors, they're going to be your lawyers, they're going to be your teachers. And I want them to see themselves in a gaze of excellence, such that it permeates wherever they go.
In a gaze of excellence. I like that. In a gaze of excellence. So tell us about this program now. Let's dive into your program, where it is. How can parents who are striving for their children to be excellent to be in this program?
So my program, the volleyball club is called Spiked, because a lot of people just hear the spike like you spike a volleyball, but it's a D at the end, past tense, Spiked City DC Volleyball. We actually practiced, we were Washington, D.C. based up until the coronavirus, and then a lot of the facilities shut down. So now we practice out at the Athletic Republic, which is on Marlboro Pike. I train girls from ages 10 to 18, 10 to 12, unless they're really experienced being a developmental group, just kind of getting their feet wet. And then as they progress along, building up their skill sets, and then taking them to national tournaments. And when I say national, in this area, it's called the Chesapeake region. And so they'll compete in tournaments from Delaware to about Northern Virginia for it to be a local tournament. But as they get more advanced, you want to expose them to the best in the country, because that's who they're going to be competing against to garner college scholarships. So as they get better, you take them to national tournaments, which could be in Texas or in Vegas or in California or in Florida, or, further north in Pennsylvania, such that they can compete against the best. And then they're exposed to college coaches who, may or may not offer them college scholarships.
Got it. And so it's a process, right? To be excellent doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. So if you can dive into some of the success stories that this process has produced. You say, they say pressure produces diamonds, and I know enough about who you are and the program. I know you're producing a lot of success. Tell us about that.
So I've had... I'm just thinking about gosh, you put me on the spot, because I have to think, okay, when I was first coaching, and this was when I was in high school, I had a young lady, and, again, I'm a stickler. So I saw a tremendous amount of potential in her. She was just, I don't know if she was necessarily lazy or didn't necessarily have confidence. I couldn't figure out which one it was, but I just wouldn't let up off of her. And then one day she just, kind of gave me the whatever in practice. So at the school that I was coaching at, people are afraid to really chastise kids. Well, I'm kind of not. So not only did I chastise her, I kicked her out of practice and told her she couldn't return indefinitely. It was devastating. Like, the entire team was like, oh my God. And so, and when she cried and her parents called, and I said, yeah, I kicked her out. I mean, what else do we need to talk about? And no, she can't come back until she's willing to give 110%. I was like, if everybody else is giving 110%, I will not accept 60 from her. It's unacceptable today and every day, past and in the future. So when she came back, when I tell you she was a totally different person, from that point to the end of the season, she became my MVP. I believe she made all league or all conference. And then she made, I think, some level of all Met. And up until this point, she had minimal success in volleyball, and she was a senior at this point in time. But that was my first year coaching her, and so that one was. I don't know that I've seen a transformation like that in such a short amount of time. I think that's why that story resonates with me so much, because I knew she had it. I knew it, and I was just, one of us was going to break, and it wasn't going to be me. So
I hear you. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So if there's a parent out there that has a diamond that needs to be polished and shaped, how do we reach you again? How do we bring our children to this program?
Well, I would advise a lot of parents to go to the website initially just to get an overview of what's going on, because occasionally we'll offer clinics, we'll offer camps, private training, and then a lot of times our schedules are up there. So the website is www.spikedcitydc.com. If they want to reach me, they can reach me at 202-408-1618, or they can shoot me an email at info@spikedcitydc.com.
So you heard a little bit about the impact on coaches on her life. You've also heard that the children, a lot of times, this needs to be loved to the greatness, loved into that. And mom and dad, sometimes we got to get past our children and put them in the hands of our coaches so that they can get to that next level. They did it, so your parents did it with you, right? So I want to take this time to give you an opportunity that's watching this show to reach out. Even if you don't have a child, here's a program that you can write a check for or volunteer for. I mean, can you tell us how people could engage in helping you help these young persons?
Well, one, I am always looking for gym space, always, because we kind of compete with basketball season, they take precedence in this area. So I'm always looking for gym space to conduct, one, to run practices or to hold clinics or tryouts or additional training sessions. And then a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but on occasion, some of our girls don't, because the club process is an extremely expensive process. It is cost prohibitive to a lot of parents. So I always look for people to maybe sponsor a kid or halfway sponsor a kid, and we'll match it, or or offer and I'm also looking for coaches. Now, I do coach my coaches as well, because I want to be consistent across the board. I don't want the one coach to say something and then the next year when they progress, they haven't even heard of a terminology. So, and most of my coaches are younger coaches, so I like to groom them as well, because a lot of them have coaching, they want to be coaches in the future. And I'm like, well, this is what I've learned. So between facilities, any coaching bodies, and I guess if anybody has a volleyball shoe connect, that would be ideal. I mean, because, some of the girls come in and they're completely new to it, and their parents are just paying the fees to get them to, compete. Buying a new pair of tennis shoes, and I hate, this is my own personal gripe. I hate when teams mandate team shoes. I'm like, some of these babies, and their parents will never say it, are barely making the cost to play.
Yes.
How are you going to ask them or mandate that they have $110 pair of tennis shoes when those tennis shoes that they have on work? Yeah. They work for right now. Yeah. So it's all those type of disparities that I'd like to cut down on.
I love it, Coach. And that is so real for so many families that come out of our communities. They have the desire. Our children have the desire to play. And we don't understand the barriers to playing. There's so many barriers that's preventing our children. You want to ask kids a lot of time, well, why aren't you doing something? Well, we need you to help them to do something. We need you to help them to be a part of these structured environments that will allow them to see the world. Now, you said that you've seen the world through your playing basketball, and you take these young girls all over the place. What do you foresee for the future of your students as you're coaching them? What are some of the things that you see that we as parents sometimes don't see for our children from a coach perspective?
I think the overriding characteristic, if I'm understanding the question, that I see that parents don't see is that a lot of kids don't need to be coddled. They need to be like love, like you said, love to excellence, because they are much tougher than you think. And I've seen through all of my students, like all of them that I've had a personal touch on, their confidence. And confidence is key when navigating this world. I didn't say cockiness. I said confidence, understanding that failure is a part of the process, and that it doesn't determine your end result. It just puts you at a point to understanding where you need to regroup and figure out some other things. And I like when they fail and keep pushing. And because it gets to a point, once I've had girls for a while, when they fail, I don't see the body language, shoulders down, eyes down, now look me in the eye. I never see that. They literally brush it off like, okay, coach, what's next? Okay, I got it. And then before I can even spew the mistake, they've already said it. They've already said it, they've acknowledged it, they've embraced it, and they literally will redirect the focus, and the focus is no longer negative as a or woe is me. It's like, okay, I got it. I'm gonna fix it, we're on to the next thing. So that's and I'm not sure if I answered the question correctly, but that's what I see in the future. I see a bunch of confident young ladies that accept failure, but failure does not mean defeat, and failure is not the end result.
Wow. You see, as an adult, that lesson right there was a hard lesson for me, because a lot of times I wanted to hide my misses rather than to embrace them and learn from them. And if our children can embrace, to understand that that's just a false reality appearing real in that moment, that you didn't make that shot or you missed that ball, and let's move to the next level. That's priceless for us to get as children. So we don't have to hit our head as adults.
Yes. You know, because you always look to achieve something, like, and I'm always looking to see, okay, I need to move the needle on this player. Okay. And I look for each one of their flaws that I need to move, that I think will negatively affect them in the long run. Like certain things, are trivial to me, but certain flaws that I'm like, this isn't going to bode well when she's 20. I'm on her to fix. She has no idea why I'm riding this one certain thing, but I'm like, no, this is going to hold her back in the future.
Yeah. And so as a coach, you're able to do that, where a parent might come home tired, got to still make dinner. You're able to see that, and then give that young person, through what they enjoy doing, be it sports, that life lesson that they won't get. So thank you so much. But I want to push you now, okay? If you don't mind, right? Coach to coach, you say still shopping still, right? You have coaches out there. What can you say to a parent that will get the parent to understand the importance of supporting our coaches as we coach our children to excellence?
So I'm always back and forth on that, because I am a coach, I am a parent, I've seen bad coaches, I've seen great coaches, and I know that it's hard to navigate the waters, especially when you don't know. I would always ask a parent to take a step back initially, just to see, because parents don't know what they don't know. So like a lot of times the kid will come home with some story. Oh, coach was just picking on me, and coach made you do 100 reps because you needed 100 reps a certain way to start building a habit towards the excellence that builds. So no, coach was not picking on you. Coach was breaking your bad habit and creating a good habit. So, so sometimes it's like, and when parents, and I mean, because I'm a mama bear too, and I'm immediately like, now what? But I can navigate a little bit better because I've been a coach. I am a coach. I've been a player. So I can kind of hear through. Now say it one more time. And I'm like, now what was the scenario surrounding that? But most parents don't have that vantage point. So I would implore them to be just a little bit more patient, because if you give it literally a month or a month and a half, you'll start to see the change in your daughter, that she's no longer coming home talking about coaches picking on her. It's like, Mom, I can do this, and Mom, I can do that, and Mom. And then don't have a false sense of reality. Like, I've had so many parents come in and tell me how amazing their kids were. Now, amazing kids they may be. Amazing volleyball players, not at all. There's a difference, and it's not personal. So I need for them to just literally take a step back. And they may be amazing athletes, they may love the game, but there are levels. Yes. Like when they say level up, there are levels to this. And so I think I hope that they come in with a just basic understanding or basic acceptance of, you don't know what you don't know.
No, right. I love it. And so there are lots of coaches out there, good ones, right? In your sport, Coach Connections wants to reach out to these coaches, and we want to create a platform to help you all not only be exposed and the program. So we do want to come to your next rehearsal, your coach, right? And to kind of highlight you and a young person, as well as get some footage so that the parents can see. They can come on this platform and they can see. But people who want to donate and people who want to sponsor, they want to see what's going on, right? So I hope that we can schedule that really soon. But what would a student, if a student was sitting right here by us right now, what do you think a student would say about you, Coach?
No, they would say, "Oh, Coach Hayes, oh, she's tough." But they'd be like, "But you're going to get it. Oh, you're going to get it." And they'll say, she just, sometimes you may think she's crazy, but you're going to get it. You're going to get it. And I mean, like, that's what, I don't know if it would be, I don't know how much emotion they would be behind it, because I'm not necessarily emotional. When I say it, it's boom, boom, boom. Like, let's get it done. It's no what? Because one of my pet peeves is like when I had women coaches that whining. Oh, it drove me insane. Yeah, and so when I say something, I'm very curt and short. Let's go, ba-boom, ba-boom. Because that whining, like I told you, I took pieces of what I hated and what I liked. And so I was like, God, if their mothers are at home yelling at them and whining, they can't take 2 hours of me. So let's just get it done. It's emotionless. Yeah. Okay, the tears, you done? Let's go. And they're like, oh.
I love it. And I just need a result. Yeah. I need a result. And so my last question, Coach Connection is also knowing that we have to support each other. So is there another program out there that you would say, you know what, that's a good program also. That's a great coach too.
Well, I know that, but these people are high school coaches, like the coach at Wilson High School, Perrette Arrington, phenomenal coach. The coach, and her sister was actually with her at Wilson, but now she is out at Flint Hill. Patrice Arrington, phenomenal coach. Yeah. My high school teammate, Cheryl Weaver, phenomenal coach. Yes. These people are, these are women that embrace the game, teach the game, love the game, and want to see you excel, because everybody that I just named has their own big resume behind them, so they don't need to live vicariously through you. Right. We sincerely want to see you be the best. Now, I'm not comparing A to B. I'm comparing A to A. I need A to maximize her potential. I need B to maximize her potential. And all of those coaches embrace that theory and want, from my experiences with them, want each player that they impact to be the best version of themselves.
It has been a pleasure talking with you, Coach. And thank you for sharing that there are a lot of other coaches out here that we need to highlight on Coach Connection. Now, why do you think Coach Connection is a good platform to do what we just did? Share information that will inspire our young persons, but also connect our resources to support you, Coach, in doing the best work.
Well, I think that's what you just said, is that to connect the resources. I think a lot of us think that we're our own, just separate entities and that we don't coexist. Somebody doesn't know about this. And it's in our community, there's a lack of information dissemination. And And especially in the sport of volleyball, if you've looked at it over the years, it's been a predominantly white sport. So in our communities, it's not that we don't like it, we weren't exposed to it. So a platform like this allows for different names to be thrown out so that the listeners can research Patrice, research Cheryl, research Perrette, research myself, and then see other avenues for expanding their horizons as it pertains to this sport or any other sport that they're interested in.
Well, Coach, one more time on Coach Connection, how can we reach you?
You can reach me. You can go to the website, www.spikedcitydc.com. You can call me at 202-408-1618, or you can email me at info@spikedcitydc.com.
And any social media?
What is my social media is Spike City DC.
All right. It has been a pleasure talking with you. I'm looking forward to scheduling coming out to your facility and literally getting some pictures and some photos and letting the world know of the great work that you're doing to improve the lives of our children now. Thank you so much.
I thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you soon. Thank you for another edition of Coach Connection, where we connect our coaches to you.
Coaches Connection, connecting you and the greater DMV to local sports programs, as well as the coaches that inspire our local youth. This show has been brought to you by the Scholar Athlete Sports Network, SASN.TV.